Hi guys, GameTalk Ajax Feyenoord 3-2, right up there. Kiss it one more time. Pelle, man, what a game. Honestly, my point, right? After the first half, I thought if we pull a 2-2, looking at how we played that first half, that might be good, and we might even with the 2-2, that's good enough, because if PSV wins, we still have that goal difference advantage. But
so we're still in the lead.
I never expected us to come back like we did in the second half. What about you?
Yeah, I had no idea, man. I mean, that first half, I was like, oh, we're going to be having the interview or rather the podcast after this, and I'm not going to be happy about talking about it because I want to move on, like we did with the Champions League final, not final, with the Champions League. I just wanted to move on, process it, and we moved. Yeah. But now it feels so good actually to be able to be here and actually be excited. Even though the performance was long from perfect, it was still, something, it ended on a high note. And that's in the end, 3 points, we move.
Yeah. How do you feel after the game? I mean, of course, you're full thrilled with emotions. We won the game. Everything is positive. But if you can reflect a little bit on the game, and what's the story of this match in your view?
I mean, it's a story we've seen from the last couple of games, right? And I was afraid that was going to happen as well. I mean, both with the 3-2 thing. If you look at our last couple of games from the eredivisie, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, and the same thing. I'm not entirely sure that I like it at all due to the fact that we have been this, so much better previous in the season. But I think we're starting to see some exhaustion. We're starting to see some minor, managerial issues with Ten Hag's, substitutions. And I think that's objectively that is starting to take a toll on the team in general.
Yeah. So you're blaming it a little bit on physique, mental and physical exhaustion.
I would say so, probably, yes, due to the fact that if we look at the team previously, you haven't seen these kinds of issues, and now we're seeing it more and more. And you have to, at some point, you have to take a look at it and see where that comes from, right?
Because there are a couple. Yeah, just one thing. I don't know. I mean, you're saying it's exhaustion, but you see a couple of players that were great in the first half of the season.
Oh, yeah,
they don't have that good form. I'm looking at Berghuis, looking at Blind. These kind of players. There are more players, but these players look exhausted. Even Alvarez, to be honest, he didn't play a bad game, but he's looking at recent weeks. He's not the Alvarez in the first half of the season.
No, exactly. They kind of dropped to the performance level we've seen previous in the past. I mean, and I think it's going to be, temporary, hopefully.
Even Anthony, by the way, even Anthony is not at his.
Yeah, but Anthony wasn't doing that good actually. I mean, in the end of the game, I handed him the man of the match due to the wonderful goal, of course. But I think that objectively, Gravenberch played much better than him today. So if you look at that scoreline, you'll see that I gave him more than I gave to Anthony. But objectively, Anthony. I mean, you have to give it to Anthony in that sense, due to the fact that that stinger of a goal.
What was the best? What was the best thing about this game for you? I mean, the comeback, the goal, a moment in the game, something for you. The substitutions of Ten Hag, maybe, which we have. We always criticize him about that, but he did a good thing today.
Yeah, I mean, he did the substitutions right today. I mean, he could probably have taken it a little bit earlier, and I really hope that he learns from this to see that this is what happens when you do it in time. You actually can change. And I mean, for example, God bless Tagliafico. He was doing great there. And I really do hope that he takes that away with him. But anyhow, my favorite part on a football aspect, I would probably say the comeback in the last 15 minutes, probably the most exciting. As a somewhat not always decent human being, I would say the shithousery after the third goal. I'd say even Slot in that sense, you saw him started laughing with the fact that Anthony got the red card due to some stupid.
Yeah, but aren't we hurting ourselves now because he has a red card?
I think I mean for sure, objectively that's a stupid thing for him to do, without a doubt. I kind of due to the fact that he scored the third goal, he's like, okay, it's good. It's water under the bridge is cool. I think we should be able to manage with our team against it's Groningen next weekend, right? Or
after the international break, I think it's Groningen.
Oh yeah. So I think
it's an away game, and Groningen away is not always an easy task for us. And what Martinez has, to be honest, we have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean that is true as well. So I think it was definitely unnecessary, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to be able to manage without him. But you never know with our if this keeps going with the the 3-2 kind of form. Then maybe we won't. Then maybe it's going to be one of those other games in which we lose 1-0. It's another 0-0, and that would truly be devastating.
let me ask you another question. I recently was on an extra talk, and I invited some guests to talk about, you know, our bench, basically our team,
Yeah.
why we're not in form, etc., etc. One of the things that I said that I don't believe the narrative that we don't have a good bench. Do you agree with me? I mean, you see now that if you bring a couple of players, you change it up a little bit. We do have good players on the bench that can make a difference.
We do. I mean, and it's quite interesting to see how the discourse has changed over time. I mean, can you remember in the beginning of the season, we were all hyping up the players on the bench, and, you know, everyone's so exciting about them, and there was like the great playing, we have so much depth, and now due to a current lack of form, we're starting blaming more and more on them. And I think that might be hampering both their development and their possibility to contribute to the team, because it's like you're saying, it's not a problem with the players in itself. This is what happens when you don't have any time to play. When you are brought on, for example, in the last 5 minutes of a game, you don't really have the time to, you know, show. And when nothing changes, that's going to become a mentality problem due to the fact that, you know, players going to be starting to blaming themselves for a game in which they only partook for about 5 to 10 minutes, and that's probably in the end, you know, on the ball, and not on the ball, but the managerial staff of.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, for me, this feels like, and maybe you can comment on this. For me, it feels like you have like these defining moments in the season.
Yeah.
And for me, this might be the defining moment for Ajax this season, because at halftime, I mean, I don't know what PSV is going to do, but we might have lost, you know, like the first spot. And now, in the way we played, and when we came back after Benfica, after our recent form, going now into international break, which might even be good for us at this point.
Yeah, for once, an international break might be good for us.
Exactly. For me, it feels like this might be the defining moment. Do you feel the same, or should we be careful, even going after the winter break? After the international break to the other games.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about being an Ajax fan is the fact that, what's the saying? The hope is the thing that kills you. And I think that you kind of saw that the Champions League as well, due to the fact that we all got so hyped up about the current form, and we were like, we're going all the way, we're going to the final. And then, you know, when you crash out of it and unexpectedly, it kind of hurts you on a personal level. That being said, though, I do believe that we might see a kind of, if Erik ten Hag is serious about going to a club, for example, like United, he needs to take this game today and take the key lessons, which was, you know, maybe not substitute in the last 5 minutes, you know, rotate a little bit more, trust your players. If you do that, I definitely think that we're going to be able to come out of this season as winners. But if we don't, I mean, it's too early to say, but I think that might become a true issue.